This is George Dion for KNAC.com, and I'm here with John Five from John Five and the Creatures. If I knew absolutely nothing about John Five and the Creatures, how would you describe the music to me?
I would say John Five and the Creatures, I would say it's a musical journey. And I'm being honest. It's like all these different styles of music, bluegrass and Western swing and metal and everything else. And I really believe that it is something that is, um, it's so true and it's so genuine. I can't put it any other way. It's so from the heart. And I'm blown away because I'm now on these like big festivals playing instrumental music. And I just started doing this for fun because I love to play and sing guitar. And it's not about hit songs. It's kind of like the Olympics. If someone see how well they can do this, and that's what we do with the band. We see how well we can execute this insane music, and people really love it. They have a great time with it, and thank God.
I would imagine that your band is important to you, going by John Five and the Creatures, because you could simply just bill yourself as John Five.
That's true, and I hate to name drop, but like I was with Gene Simmons, and he was like, "Why don't you just call it John Five?" And he was right. He's right. He's like, "Why not?" But it is true. The band is so important to me, and it's so difficult. I'm going to tell you, it is so difficult to replace one of these guys because it's the music is so intense. It ain't easy. And we got a new drummer, Alex Mercado, and I mean, thank God, because he's so good and he just fits perfect.
You're gearing up for a U.S. tour starting in just a few days, the Center Tour 2022. Do you have any nerves or anticipated stage fright because you haven't been on the road in so long?
No, I really think that the only reason anyone has stage fright or they're nervous about a play or a movie or a test at school is because you're not prepared. But if you're prepared, should be no problem. It's just like if someone was about to, I don't know, like anything, you can get up and do your routine. You've done that routine every day. You're not nervous about that. It's what you do. But anything unknown that you're not sure of, people get a little nervous about. But no, I make sure I'm always prepared and, very rehearsed. And I have a pretty strict rehearsal regiment. It's very draconian. It's very like, this is what we're going to do. And just because everybody has phones nowadays, you got to, you got to be on your game.
Absolutely. And I think Bon Jovi learned that last week or something like that. Somebody caught him on a bad day.
Oh, I didn't hear what happened.
He didn't sound great. But I mean, he's coming back from not touring for years. And I mean, obviously, maybe a few more rehearsals before hitting the road would have done a little better.
See, that's my perfect point. Like everybody's got a phone. And that was probably cell phone footage, which I I really enjoy. I know this sounds crazy, but I like when people record the show because I want to see it. And we're so rehearsed. I'm like, I promote it. I'm like, hey, if you guys want to record the show, totally record it. But there's some people that are really against it, but I support it because, some people can't get to the shows. Some people aren't feeling well, or some people don't have the money. It's like, okay, record it. So I really like when people record it, but I've seen Bon Jovi, and man can he sing, man can he hit those notes, but that's a bummer. We don't even know, maybe he wasn't feeling well, maybe he had a cold, who knows, but I don't know. I've heard him, and boy, can he sing.
I agree with you. And speaking of taping, you're going to be taping a couple of your shows for a live release, one of the West Coast shows and one of the East Coast shows. Is there a reason you wanted to break it up like that?
Well, because of the technology, I want to have the producer out there, but we've now figured it out where we're going to be able to record all of the shows. And the reason I'm doing this, I did it with the last record. Last record was called Invasion, and we had live Invasion, and we would play songs, certain songs in this city or certain songs in that city, not so it's like the whole record in one place. So that's what we're going to do with Sinner, and we'll have a live record. We went to Mexico. We did Que Pasa, we did Land of the Misfit Toys, and that worked out great. So we're going to record all of these shows. And here's my philosophy. Here's my, thing about that is that we have, just imagine Kiss if they had Hotter Than Hell, and then you had Hotter Than Hell live from that tour, Dressed to Kill live, or Van Halen, Fair Warning live. How great would that would have been? I mean, could you imagine? It would have been incredible. So that's kind of why we're doing it. I just think it'll be a really fun, cool thing.
I remember back in the 90s, Kiss was pushing something that they would play the show that night, and then you would be able to buy the live performance like immediately afterwards.
That's really cool. I think the Grateful Dead does that too.
Yeah, they're doing that.
Yeah, which is, I think, really cool. But I'm doing it to the way of the record. So you'll have all the record live, so because it's easy. It's really easy to make live albums today. It's easy to make regular records today. You can do it in a house, so why not? Why not?
You have your fellow bandmate and Rob Zombie hitting the road with you. Piggy D's band, the Haxons, is opening up on most dates. Are you guys planning any performances together?
That would be really cool. Who knows? Maybe because we do Thunder Kiss in the medley. I'm going to ask him. That'd be great if he came up and did Thunder Kiss for that 20 seconds. It would be really funny. I think I'm going to talk to him. That's a great idea, actually. But I'm super excited to have. I love the Haxons, and I'm like, these are really good songs, and I love Piggy D, and I'm super excited, and I know he is too. So I'm so looking forward to this tour, dude. It's therapeutic almost. I mean, I need it, and just like everybody else, even if they go to the movies or they go out to eat, they're like, oh, it really feels different. It feels good. So I cannot wait till Monday. I'm super excited.
Good to hear. And of course, you're going to be promoting your 2021 album, Sinner, that was released on Big Machine back in the fall. You've been getting positive reviews on the album, and you've been selling out the shows, so that's got to make you feel really good.
I really think if you do what you love, I really think that's literally the meaning of life. Look at you, love what you do, right? And it's like, there you go, and that's what it's about. If you can get up and do what you love. Listen, I'm playing small venues and I love it. I fucking love it. And then I get to play these huge mega places with Zombie. I love it. And it just proves to me that as long as I have a guitar in my hand, I'm happy.
You have a couple of special guests on your album, Sinner. One of note is Peter Criss of Kiss. You've appeared on a couple solo records by Kiss members. I think Peter Criss would be the most surprising one I would think would appear in your album.
Well, I'm super close with Peter. He's like my brother. I talk to Peter all the time. And I am so close with him. And, so with this, when we were in lockdown, I was like, hey, dude, why don't you play? Can you play on Georgia, And he was like, I'd love to. And so we, had the producer fly out there, and he just nailed it. And it was literally 2 takes, and it was perfect, and it's just that feel, because he has that feel. And it was really magical. I mean, I'm so happy. I just love Kiss just like everybody else in the world. And it was just a magical thing, a magical time.
Are you still an avid Kiss memorabilia collector?
Oh yeah. And so my Instagram page, Knights in Satan Service, it's still going on. I've posted every day. January 1st. Now try to fathom this for a minute. January 1st, every single day is going to be 5 years. That's a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. Have you gotten any directly from members of Kiss?
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely. Of course. Yeah, absolutely. And it's cherished, and it is well taken care of, and it's history. It really is history, and it's good that it's documented, because listen, they're coming up on 50 years next year. 50 years. And they're, as recognizable as anything, Coca-Cola or McDonald's or anything. It's pretty incredible. So it's good to document everything and, educate people on this. Why not? It was such an epiphany for me in my life. I enjoy it. Why not?
Sinner is your first album for Big Machine label group, I believe. How did you snag that record deal?
We were doing my best friend in the world, Nikki Sixx. We're doing I've Been Everywhere for this Liam Neeson movie. And Nikki said, hey dude, let's do I've Been Everywhere for this Liam Neeson movie. And I was like, okay, cool. And he said, do you think Rob will want to do it? And I was like, well, I think so. Rob really likes you, and obviously likes me, and I think it'll be really cool. And he agreed, and the song came out killer. I mean, I listen to that song myself all the time, and I love it. But the record label was like, hey, we want to get in the John 5 business, because they were doing some digging, and they really liked what they saw, because it was so different. It was so out of the norm, if you will. And they had a lot of country artists. I mean, biggest in the world, Taylor Swift, and everybody. And they put it out, and I was shocked. I was like, there's no vocals on this, So it was it's a true honor. It really is. It's wonderful.
So let's segue briefly into your project with Nikki Sixx, that song for the Liam Neeson movie, The Ice Road. You guys were billed as the LA Rats. Is that going to be it for you guys? Just that one song?
I think so. I mean, I'd be up for anything, because I love picking, but everybody's so busy and things like that. But if they called and said, hey, let's do this, and I'd be like, okay, cool. So I'm up for anything. If it has to do with guitar playing, I'm totally up for it,
I definitely have to agree with that statement that you're up for anything, because I never really did any super big research on you until the last week or so. And I didn't realize how much your guitar print is across some of the best albums, best rock albums of rock legends that ever, performed. I mean, you're on the last Steve Perry album, you're on a Rick Springfield album, you're on some pop albums. You're pretty prolific when it comes to your art.
Yeah. And another one I'm so proud of, is that Motley Crue, The Dirt. I was, me and Nikki wrote on that, and dude, because I fucking love Motley Crue, and it was so cool for it to come to fruition, and to have to hear Vince and Tommy and Mick and of course Nikki, doing that, like it just, I think that song really gave me a real excitement, of collaborating with someone. It really, and seeing the video and the history of it, it was like, it was really pretty incredible.
As far as your guitar playing is concerned, you're going to appear in a documentary called Dreams of Distortion. I couldn't find out much about it, so if you want to give a brief description of what you'll be doing there.
Yeah, so it's this director came to me and said, we want to do a documentary on you. I was like, who am I, Abraham Lincoln? And it was really cool because it's about inspiration. It's about going after your dreams, because we have so many amazing musicians, songwriters, anything that are at home that we might never even know about. And it's just about, going after your dreams. And a lot of people are in the documentary. It's Rob Halford is in it, Rob Zombie is in it, Michael Anthony from Van Halen, Rudy Sarzo, Gary from Leonard Skinner, Katie Lang. I mean, the list goes on and on. Peter Criss is in it. So it's a pretty amazing documentary. I'm really excited. It will probably come out next year sometime.
Now, everywhere you look and you see John 5, you're usually carrying a Fender Telecaster. Why do you prefer the Fender Telecaster? And do you play any other kinds of guitars?
I do, but the Telecaster, everything happens when you're a kid. Like that's why you like a certain band or a certain superhero or a certain anything. And that's what it was for me with guitar. I would watch Hee Haw, that show Hee Haw, and they all played Telecasters. And I thought that was the only electric guitar. I was so young. And I was just obsessed with the Telecaster. And that's how it is today. So literally, I'm still playing with my favorite toy, at today. And that's what's really cool. It's just like if I still had my whoopee, and I would go on stage and do all these tricks with my whoopee, but it's literally the same thing. The guitar was my favorite toy.
Now, your friend Gene Simmons not too long ago said that he thought rock and roll was dying or dead. And I'll ask you, do you think that the art of the guitar is dying? And I mean that in the sense of, is there gonna be the next John 5 or Steve Vai or virtuistic instrumental type guys? Because you don't get a lot of that, at least mainstream.
You're absolutely correct. You don't get a lot of that. But if I inspire one person, two people, I feel like I've done my job, because I think inspiration is one of the most important things. I don't think the art of guitar is dead because of the fact now we have Instagram, we have things like that, Twitter, where or more Instagram, but you can see these guitar players from all over the world playing. And to me, it's inspirational. So if I inspire just a couple people, I've done my job.
And in true heavy metal fashion, you are a cat owner. It seems every heavy metal guy has a cat. It's almost becoming as cliche as sex, drugs, and rock and roll these days. But right. You have some really unique cats. They have no fur.
They have no fur, and there's 4 of them. So I don't know if that makes me more metal, but it's definitely a these cats, they're very smart, because I play guitar so much, and my one cat, Herman, will meow because he wants to go outside, but I don't let him out by himself. I have to walk with him. So I'll walk with him and stuff while I'm on the phone, multitasking, like I said in the beginning of the interview. But when I'm playing guitar and I stop, even for a break in the song, he'll meow. And that's how smart they are. They know as soon as I stop hitting the guitar, he'll meow. And it's like unbelievable how they know what to tell you, you know. But yes, I have 4 hairless monsters.
Well, that's all the questions I got for you today, John. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with KNAC today. The new album, well, sort of new, Sinner.
Yeah.
You're out touring in support of it starting in a few days. It's the Sinner Tour 2022.
And I love KNAC. Thank you very much.